Very good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time to join us today. We are delighted to be here. My name is George, and I'm representing the consortium today. I've got my colleagues with me, Sarah and Graham, the directors of the consortium, and my other colleague, Amanda, as well. We're part of the delivery team. We are commissioned by Braintree District Council to offer these events, and we are going to lots of different settings around the county of Essex, delivering careers information, careers and employability, and it's really amazing to be here. I'm just waiting for some of your friends to join us. Hi guys, welcome. Plenty of seats at the front. We've saved the front rows for you. Big welcomes to you. So, thank you again, guys, for welcoming us. We are going to take you on a roller coaster today of different ideas. We are going to be talking about apprenticeships, further education. We're going to be talking about careers. We are going to be talking about employment, a whole range, because I appreciate that some of you will want to go on to apprenticeships. Some of you will want to go to to be employed straight away, straight into your careers. Some of you want to go on to further training and further education, and this today is an opportunity to help you with all of those avenues that you choose. So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about some of these ideas, and we're going to be hearing from some local employers. We are going to be taking you on a virtual work experience. We're also going to be talking about AI. Then we have Chizola joining us shortly. Has anyone heard of Chizola before? Chizola was on The Apprentice. She was some of you may have done, great. And Chizola will be sharing her confidence building, how she got from no business to a hugely successful business that she has today. And she'll be sharing lots of those ideas with us. We are going to welcome the Barclays Bank team as well. And they're going to talk to you about money. Everyone likes to talk about money, right? They're going to be talking to you about avoiding being involved in scams and all sorts of things. And then some of my other colleagues are going to be talking to you about careers at the BBC and ways and opportunities that are out there, because there are so many opportunities for so many of you, and we want to be able to share that with you. What we tend to find is that we carry out these events and people say, I didn't know about that app. I didn't know that app existed. I didn't know this. I didn't know that, and so on and so forth. So we are here today to share all of that information with you. If you have any questions at any point, we're on a really tight schedule, but we've built in a break. Please do come and ask any of us as we go through the morning, all right? It's never a problem. It's really important that you ask the right people the right questions so you've got the right information. Is everyone ready to go? Yes. Yes, thank you for answering, my friend. Okay, all right. We are going to share a little bit of information about some local employers and what local employers are looking for, and then we're going to interview some local employers that happen to be live in the room. Let's hope this works. It did in rehearsals.
Hi, my name's Danny Hall, and I'm the owner and founder of FSC Digital.
Can you hear that?
We're a marketing agency based in Golfano in Chelmsford, and we've been established for 14 years. The skills I look for in the employees, that we look for as a company, is we look for people who drive, we like people who stand out and make an effort. And ultimately we look for people who show a keen interest in what we do and the industry we're in. So if you've got drive and stand out, then feel free to get in touch in the future.
Okay, so some of the ideas: standing out from the crowd, making an effort, be interested in what the company does. All very helpful tips.
Hi, my name is Melissa and my company is called ML Property Venture. We are a property investment company and we teach people how to get started in property investment through our training and our community, the Intentional Property Network. The skills that we look for when recruiting is firstly a genuine enthusiasm for property. We love people who are curious about the market and are eager to learn and excited to help others build their property investment knowledge. We also look for the usual, so strong communication skills, a positive and proactive attitude, and good problem solving skills. They're reliable. We look for good time management skills, especially as we have a ton of different deadlines to work towards. Attention to detail is super important and is actually the main thing that I look for when setting tests during the interview phase. And finally, teamwork and integrity. So thanks so much for listening, and I wish you all the best with your future career.
Okay, having that positive attitude, show that you're proactive and show that you are a team player.
Hi, my name is Nilesh. I'm founder of London Success Academy. And the skills that we look for our new employees are as follows. So we hire multiple different teams. We have some people in the marketing side or sales side or the admin related work. So when we are looking for marketing, we are looking for somebody who can actually create the marketing campaigns, who understand the market, who understand how the funnels work, who understand how to figure out the target audience and what are the key messages that we should send to the target audience. On the sales side, we are looking for the people who can actually close the sales. Not only the people who generally learn the sales jargon, but who can actually close the sales, who has like nice personality, who can deal with the people, who understand the pain, who understand how to present the solution to that pain, all those sort of things. And on the admin side, we are looking for the people who understand, who can multitask, variety of tasks at the beginning. Then we need somebody who understand the Excel sheet part, because most of the stuff, the data management happens on the Excel sheet. Now we use multiple CRM softwares, but the Excel sheet is something that we figure out that are much more simpler and easier. We also use some CRM tools, so we are looking for somebody who are expert in the CRM tools like Go High Level or Monday.com, those sort of things. So depending on the type of employee that we are hiring, these are the skills we are looking at. Apart from that, we are also looking for some trainers who can come and train us on our internship programs. So we do offer as internship programs, and under the internship programs, we offer data engineering, software testing, business analytics, marketing and PR, human resources, cyber security. So that time when we are hiring somebody to look after those, we are looking for experts who are actually having the industry experience on those fields. So these are the skills we are looking at. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, 3 very different employers looking for different skills, but there are also some similar themes as well of what people are looking for.
Hi, I'm Emily and I'm founder of I'm Emily Marketing. We're a creative marketing agency based in Essex, working with small businesses, charities and purpose-led brands across the UK. What we look for in new team members is reliability, creativity and a genuine passion for making a difference. We love people who bring fresh ideas to the table, take initiative and really care about the clients and the communities that we work with.
Okay, wonderful. Oops. All right, so amazing to hear from different employers. And in the room today, we have got 2 employers. Please, could you introduce yourselves to the room, please?
So my name is Sarah Brockwell, and my company is a marketing company called Sarah B Marketing, and I'm based in Great Dunmow, near Stansted Airport.
Wonderful. And
I'm Graham Broughton. I have a company called Graham Broughton Consulting, and I'm based in Woodbridge in Suffolk, and I work with a lot of companies across the east of England.
wonderful. Okay, so we are going to ask some live questions, and I'm really interested in your responses this morning. So we've been talking about skills and different approaches and what we're looking for. So tell us a little bit about what skills, Sarah, or qualities do you look for in young people when they're applying for roles in your company?
So first and foremost, I'm looking for something that sets you apart from all the other candidates. I receive lots and lots of letters and emails of people speculatively applying for jobs, but I'm looking for somebody that's got that little bit of difference. So be descriptive if you are applying online, if you're sending a letter, and really set out what makes you different. So it may be something that you've done in the voluntary sector, you may have done some volunteering, it may be something that you're really proud of having achieved, any particular awards that you may have won, any particular hobbies and interests that make you stand out as a person, as an individual, so that I can get some kind of a picture of what you're going to be like as an employee.
Great, thanks so much. Graham, anything you'd like to add to what Sarah's just said?
Yeah, I'd like to give you a case study of somebody called Emily. Emily's just over 16. She's completed 11 GCSEs, just starting her A-levels. Emily's got this passion to do law. She's always wanted to do law, and she's always wanted to go to Cambridge University. So what we did was that we helped her. We got her a work experience in criminal law. She soon found out she definitely didn't want to do that. And we got her a work experience with a patent attorney, so they were teaching her how to write trademarks and that sort of thing. Now, the thing about Emily that is different is her determination. She won an interview with Cambridge University, and they did that online, and she did it from her home, which is in a rural part of Suffolk, so the connection wasn't particularly good. And she was very worried about that, and she said to the interviewee at Cambridge University, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop this interview. I'm going into my school where the connection is much better. May I call you back?" And she did, and she's done very well. What a big plus point to show initiative.
Absolutely, initiative, determination. So we're thinking about lots of skills, and there's a really good case study there, Graham. When we're thinking about digital skills specifically, what advice might you have for young people today that, and I must just say, of course, we haven't just got the people in the room, we are streaming, of course, across a few settings, which is amazing. So welcome to those guys as well. So tell us a little bit about the digital skills specifically. What knowledge would students want to really embrace and apply so that when they're thinking about apprenticeships, for example, what digital skills specifically would it be a good idea for them to really focus on having?
Yeah, I think that one of the employers on the video mentioned having skills that are relevant and knowing about the industry that you're going into. So do some research and find out, for example, if you want to go into engineering, what's the digital technology that's used in engineering? And you can simply find out what that is by doing some research online. You've got some really great resources as well online in terms of UCAS and SpringPod. Are you all familiar with SpringPod and UCAS? So there are lots of different information hubs regarding sectors on both of those websites, and you can even do some digital work experience with different employers, and that's what my colleague Amanda is going to be showing you. So look at the industry that you want to go into, what the sector is, and look at what are the skills that are most common and prevalent, and make sure that you're up to speed on those skills.
Brilliant. Just out of interest, with a show of hands, who's interested in an apprenticeship when they're finished? A few of you. Who's interested in going straight into employment? Okay. Who would like to go on to a university or some further training? Real split mix today. Gosh. Any category I've missed? Anyone doing anything else? Does anyone already have a job that they're working part-time that fits nicely around their college? Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So, Graham, what about for yourself? What would you suggest that young people focus on with digital skills? Well, if we're thinking about this.
Yeah, you have a fantastic advantage that today's modern employer needs you, with all your digital skill knowledge, to incorporate it into the company. There are, however, some old-fashioned and difficult things that businesses still adopt today, like, for instance, landlines. And so you are in a unique position. Employers today welcome you arms open with all your knowledge and skills, and use it. Reliability is the key, though. Very much so.
Absolutely. And we're looking at digital technology today. Just walking into this room is really impressive for us as non-people that are doing this. But for you guys, obviously, you're using this all of the time and you're familiar with this type of technology. So really embrace these skills. What a fantastic opportunity and resources you guys have here. All right. So when we're exploring career options, do you have any advice for young people? What they should be looking for when they're exploring the career path that they want to go on?
Do what you enjoy, really, because if you enjoy going to work, then it won't feel like work, and that's all I'll say.
Good advice, absolutely, Graham.
And be selective. Be selective of who you join. You know, it's really important that businesses today treat you with the respect that you deserve, and that a lot of companies don't always do that. So if you find through an interview you're offered a job in a company you're not sure about, turn it down. Make sure you feel comfortable with the future employer. That's really important for you.
That is hugely important. It has to be right for you. Absolutely. Hello.
Thinking of that point of always knowing who, like, always go, it's also got, if you don't know the employee, you could research the employee.
Yes, absolutely. Carry out your research. And if you get that funny feeling and you think, this doesn't feel right, I don't think I like the sound of this, or I didn't like the interview, the panel weren't very friendly, or they were a bit rude to me, or they didn't understand my my requirements or what I need to be successful in this, then it's a no. And you've got to be as selective as they are being selective about you guys as well. Really good question. Thanks for your point there. Okay, so just to finish with, can you tell us about a typical day in the life of a young person in your workplaces? What might they experience from when they arrive in the morning? What does it look like?
So in my world, which is marketing and PR, no 2 days are the same. So if you work for a marketing agency, and there were a couple of marketing agencies in the video, if you work for a marketing agency, you'll find that your typical week is very varied. If you're part of a team, you'll have team meetings where you all get together and you strategize. But if you're working on your own, then it's very important that you stay motivated, and you can do that by using different task lists or project management systems. Like, has anyone heard of Asana or Monday? You'll be able to use these online tools, and some of them incorporate AI now that will help you manage your day and your tasks, because some of you might be working remotely. That means working from your home office. And some of you might be having a role, what we refer to as hybrid, which means sometimes you work from home and sometimes you go into the office. And some of you might spend the majority of your time in an office. So just know that there's no kind of set rule for what your day is going to be like. Excuse me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Graham. Did you want to add anything to that?
Just a couple of things. One exception. I know this may sound very old-fashioned to you, but companies start work at a particular time, maybe 9 o'clock, you know, and that does mean 9 o'clock. So that's an important thing for you to consider. I work a lot with companies on strategy. Where are they going in the future and what are they doing? That's fascinating work, and it means that you can really get inside the client and understand their businesses. So typically, if it's a family business, you have first generation family that starts it, takes all the risks, borrows the money, has to put his house up against the bank overdraft for security, all those horrendous risks right at the very beginning. And then you've got the second generation that come in, generally speaking, then move the company forward, but it's the third generation you have to worry about. Because the third generation, generally speaking, if it's a very successful family business, like to buy Ferraris. And that's a true story. And therefore you have to be very careful when it comes to strategy to understand that, of how you can help those clients progress.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you for your information, your wise wisdom. Great. And again, if you have any questions, please do ask please do ask Sarah or Graham during the break, all right, which will be scheduled for just after 11 o'clock. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to hand now to Amanda, and Amanda's going to talk to you about virtual work experience, and I will leave you in her very capable hands. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Hands up if you fancy some work experience. What if I told you that you could access that work experience from the comfort of your bedroom? Yeah. Okay, so today I'm going to show you a little bit how you do that. This is available to everybody in this room, and I'm going to talk you through how you access it. Sorry. Okay, so I can remember when I was in your shoes. When I was in about year 9, I was moved from a mixed comprehensive school into an all-girls convent school. We were taught by nuns. And of course, those types of schools are very ambitious. I hadn't even thought about my career at that point. And we had to go around the room and stand up, take it in turns, and say what we wanted to do when we grew up, what we wanted to do for our future career. So I listened as all the my fellow young ladies with me stood up in turn. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an accountant. I want to be an architect. I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? None of those things apply to me. I have no idea what I want to do. Very common, very common. So I stood up and I said, I want to be a car mechanic. I was into Formula One, and that seemed like a great choice for me. Of course, being female, literally the room just laughed at what I wanted to do. But nowadays, of course, females absolutely can go into those kind of careers. So that was my first experience thinking about what I wanted to do when I grew up. I then went to a different school for my A-levels, and everybody started talking about going to university. And again, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't think I wanted to go to university, and I felt like I was the only sort of person in the room that really didn't want to follow that path. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer. I absolutely didn't want to be a lawyer. What on earth was I going to do? Eventually, I took a bit of a gap year and went into work and just worked in financial services. Then I went and worked in my mum's family business, and we grew a day nursery chain and sold it. And that really spoilt me. I didn't really want to be an employee again. I quite liked working, running a business. So that was my experience of doing that. And at that time, I actually went to university at that point and did a postgraduate before my degree. I did my degree in my 40s. So really what I want to say to you is none of this is linear, and you probably won't end up in the job that you first take when you're my age, for sure. My first job was the best job ever, working behind the bar in the GX Super Bowl, the bowling alley. And it was a fabulous job because I learnt to communicate, I learnt about people, and actually it was a really good time that we had. So what I want to stand here and say to you is that nothing is linear. And just because you're finishing your education doesn't mean to say that's it. I went back to university still in the last 24 months. I've been back to university, not to do a degree, but actually it was a master's short course, and I learned about business management and got that qualification that enabled me to become a chartered manager. So what I want to say to you is be lifelong learners. And at any point in your life, you can go to websites such as Springpod, UCAS, Prospects. All of those websites are constantly updating with opportunities for you to research jobs, research how to do a CV. Definitely, I speak to people 50 plus that have never really updated their CV. These things will need to stay with you for life. It doesn't just finish as soon as you get your first job. So that's just my experience that I wanted to share with you and the reasons why I'm passionate about giving that information to you. And so you've probably got quite a few questions. Some of you will know what you want to do. Some of you knew that you wanted to go into employment or further education, and you've got a pretty good idea of what you want to do. But I think it's pretty common that people don't really know what they want to do. And so hopefully we're going to start researching that, as we heard it was a really good idea to do, and start giving you some ideas and start exploring what it is that you might want to do. I think you're all beyond post 16. So post 18, equivalent to year 13. So you're in a situation where you're at college, you may have done a T-level, you may be doing an apprenticeship, or you may be doing some A-levels. And all of those are equivalent level for you to be able to go on either to higher education, to skilled employment, or a higher level technical qualification such as an apprenticeship. So there are opportunities for you, just like there was for me, to keep going and keep studying and keep learning. And the good news is it's not like school. So actually you start doing things that you're really interested in. Whatever route you take, you will have to do an application, unless you're very lucky and you know somebody and dad's friend's brother's sister and can get you a job. You will have to do an application, and likely you will have to do an interview. And so you need to be preparing yourselves for those possibilities. You'll need the evidence to show that you're a good fit for the company. And not only is this the right job for you, but is that employer right for you, as Graham mentioned? And in part of that interview process, it's a two-way thing. I know that you will want to be desperate to get a job probably and really happy that you've got one, but please be aware that there are employers out there that are better than others, and make sure that you're asking questions to find out at that interview stage whether they're going to be right for you too. To mention there, one of the most common issues that we're facing with employers, because you're of a generation that unfortunately missed out on work experience opportunities due to the pandemic, that you're going to jobs and apprenticeships almost to do that work experience, getting there and finding out very quickly it's not for you. And so this is why we're trying to promote to you the opportunities of doing work experience online so that you can test that out. So I'm going to play for you a video here that introduces work experience.
Not sure what career to choose? You're not alone. But what if you could explore real jobs, learn from real employers, and discover what's possible, all before you even apply? With SpringPod, you get to be part of real companies, trying out tasks, hearing from people who do the job, and seeing what it's really like behind the scenes. You'll get real insight into what day-to-day jobs are like, build confidence, develop the skills employers are really looking for. Meet leading employers and break down barriers to top industries, no matter where you live. Explore growth sectors and exciting roles you never imagined. You choose what to explore. Take part anytime that suits you, after school, at weekends, during holidays. It's designed to work around you. Every experience you complete earns you a certificate. A great way to stand out in applications, interviews, or CVs. Show what you've achieved and how you are developing essential skills. Your future starts with a single step. Be curious, be confident, explore real careers with SpringPod, and take charge of your future.
Sound good? I don't work for SpringPod, but I came across this when I do sometimes supporting people with careers advice and helping people individually. And I couldn't believe this existed. You, as I say, have missed out on opportunities for work experience due to the pandemic. And so a number of really top brands have come together to create this free resource for you. And I think that everybody should know about it. Sarah mentioned, how do you stand out as an individual? Well, if you take one of these courses or do one of these work experiences, I can guarantee you, as somebody that works in HR, human resources, doing the recruitment, that you will stand out if you start talking to me about one of these. Not only has it got work experiences, it also has courses on there as well. So if you're going on to further education, higher education, you'll be able to test out potentially a course at university. A load of universities have come together and put some resources on there as well, so that you can try before you buy. It's really important that you start looking into these things and really seeing, so that you don't end up going maybe to university and then dropping out of your course. You really want to be knowing that you're going into it with your eyes open if you can. As I mentioned, it's 100% free, and so I'm going to really sort of talk you through some of them now. It's not clicking on. Sorry guys, not clicking on. Bear with me. Maybe just a... Have I whetted your appetite at least? Yeah? You quite fancy that. Who has thought about trying to get work experience but not been able to do so? Has anyone thought about it yet? No? It's going to be massively important to you when you show up. You're currently going to go along to an employer with your CV with just your education on it potentially, unless like some people have done, have gone and got jobs, and all power to you, because at the moment you're studying subjects, but what you need to do is translate those into skills, so the employers actually know what it is that you're interested in and what it is that you can bring to them. So this will be really useful to you to start adding to your CVs. One thing that we found when we've been going into settings is that, of course, education is quite subject specific, but the workplace is sector specific. So you might go and work in the finance industry, we've all heard of. You might go into hairdressing, you might go into hospitality. You know, within those sectors, there are many jobs. So I could go and work for a finance company, but work in HR or marketing department. And so we need to start understanding and speaking the language of employment and employers, and working out, if I'm interested in a certain subject, what sector can I join with that knowledge, with that subject? So my children have said to me, well, I don't want to work in marketing. My daughter actually now works in marketing because I've introduced her to the many different roles that are available within marketing. And it's about giving you that education, and this is one of the ways that you can learn a bit more about it. So what is the virtual work experience? It's only 8 to 10 hours. It isn't much, but it will give you something to put on your CV. So it's split into sections. It's really bite-sized so that you can achieve it really easily. And there's lots of activities and quizzes to test your knowledge. And it is certificated, so at the end, you've got something to say, yes, I have done this work experience. Just firstly, this is Amazon. We picked Amazon because they've got quite a lot of digital experiences that they can share with you. It's not just sending out parcels at Amazon. There's experiences. There are 5 digital skills that they cover. So if you are currently doing a digital T-level or something like that, there's lots of opportunities for you to go and explore the work experience from that angle. They also do tours of Amazon, and they've got a little bit on about reliability and maintenance engineering and chats for doing the call centre work. So lots of opportunities just within one company. I'm going to play this quickly. This is a bit about the work experience, what it looks like. This is actually off UCAS. You can go into the various sectors that I talked about. So the first thing is to identify a sector that you may want to work in. There you can see digital IT and computing, which we're focusing on today. So hopefully that's going to click into that in a second. And these are the various ones that you can do, particularly with Amazon in the digital sector. And it will take you through, tell you a bit about the course, what's available, when you can sign up to it. They're all available now, and tells you a little bit about what you're going to experience during that time. As I mentioned, it's 8 to 10 hours, and you can do it virtually. It will also talk you through what's covered in the work experience, so they'll introduce you to Amazon, tell you a bit about the apprenticeships opportunities and career pathways. As you can see there, there's digital, operations and engineering, and computer science careers. So within Amazon, it's not just about sending out parcels. There's lots of different careers and opportunities that you can do. And then the most important thing at the bottom there, it will play and come up, is the employability skills. So the skills that you'll be learning from this work experience that you need to say when you're in an interview, I've demonstrated that I've got these skills because I've done this work experience. That's what interviewers and employers are interested in. What have you learned about this? And as I say, if you're sitting with me in an interview and you can talk about this and say you've done this work experience, I'm going to be dead impressed. And then this is just on the UCAS site. You've got all the different sectors on there. And again, we're just going to pick out information technology and all the careers that are available, and there will be more under this, some that we've not even come up with yet, AI and things like that. But it will give you the average salary, a little bit about about that career. So you can start investigating what you want to do. And what I always say, there's a quiz on there. Both UCAS and prospects have quizzes, so that whatever you're interested in, whatever your personality type, do the quiz as your first point of call, and that will start suggesting to you different careers that you might be interested in. It's a really good place to start. It tells you a little bit about the salaries that you can earn in those roles too. And then I just wanted also to do, they've also got Wagamama, for example, on there. My son did the Wagamama experience on here when he was about 17. And off the back of it, he was able to put it on his CV. He set up his LinkedIn because they guided him through it. And he was able to get a job and now works in hospitality. And they are jobs that are diminishing. It's really hard actually now to get these jobs, these entry-level jobs, because, of course, if you go to Tesco's, you're doing your own shopping and cashier now. So this would set you apart. If you can go into that employer and say, yes, I want to work here, I've done the Wagamama work experience, I know exactly what it entails, I know a little bit about customer service, because that's what it's going to teach you. These are great things to be able to say to people and just add them to your CV. It really will help you. So this is just running through some of the things that you'll learn. It talks to you about the headquarters, they call it Noodle HQ, and it will tell you some of the jobs there, like marketing, menu development, strategic planning. That's what I do for a living, helping companies work out the direction that they're going to go in and earn money, what they do with their people, how they employ people, those kind of things. Tells you a little bit about getting on the career ladder with Wagamama if you fancied a job there, and again, the employability skills. And these are all the companies that have come together to put the work experience on there for you. Really great companies. And similarly, there's universities for courses as well. I haven't focused on that today because you needed to do one or other. And I think, you can see there's a really good pedigree of company that you can say potentially you've done work experience for. That's fantastic. Oops, sorry. If you're thinking about going into apprenticeship, there's also apprenticeship opportunities on there, so you can learn all about those. So it's not just jobs and it's not just further higher education. You can also do apprenticeships with all these major companies as well. And don't just take my word for it. Students are saying, it's really fantastic that helped them to design an Instagram post, so you're learning digital skills. You're learning a bit about, you're able to be creative. You can, really enjoy the experience. It's quite an interactive experience. Some will do webinars, some will do setting up your LinkedIn. Lots of different opportunities, and there'll be quizzes as well. And actually, sometimes you get to speak and meet the employers as well. Depends what you want to do and whether you want to join those webinars. And so, of course, just to wrap up, this is a digital skills showcase, and I wanted to impress upon you the types of skills that you would gain and improve from a digital perspective by doing these. So you're going to attend webinars, you're going to improve your digital communication. You can show that you can use digital assets and platforms. We mentioned Monday, that's a client relationship management software. You need to be able to demonstrate that you can do these things, as you will soon be learning them in any job that you go into. You need to be familiar with Microsoft Office or similar, Word, Excel, those kind of things. And you need to be able to apply these skills in the workplace. You'll need to have an awareness of cyber security. You'll probably get tested on whether you're going to just open emails and somehow set a virus off in your workplace. And you need to be aware of your digital footprint. So you need to be aware that what you're doing online is being recorded, and potentially as employers, we are able to do a search just by your face on Google to see what it brings up about you. So please be aware of your presence online. But there's just some of the skills that you will gain and improve by doing the work experience. So it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour. I hope that it's been interesting. What I'd really like to do is, I know that Colchester Institute don't currently subscribe to SpringPod. They can set up an account for free, and you can go on their dashboard and start accessing some of the experiences available to you. you won't, it's really difficult to get work experience in workplaces. Try, but if you don't, please don't give up. Give one of these a look into and see if you can just add that to your CV. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, okay. Everybody okay? Do you want a little movement break in your shoulders and a bit of a wiggle? Are we all okay? Do I need to stand up? No? Okay. Normally, we go to schools and settings and everyone's talking, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. It really does show the high experiences that we're going to get today at this college. So thank you so much. Okay, right, we're going to talk about AI now, and this is time for you to be a bit more interactive with us. Would there be anybody that would like to come and create a young person panel at the front here? If not, I'm going to pick on Troy and the two Harrys that spoke with me a few weeks ago. Is there anybody that would like to come forward? Okay, I've got 3 seats here. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask some questions about AI. All right. Hi, what's your name?
Kieran.
Kieran, nice to meet you, Kieran. Anybody else? Oh, thank you so much. Here we go. Okay. Anybody else keen to come forward? Thank you. What's your name, my friend?
Wesley.
Wesley, nice to meet you. I'm never going to remember this, guys. You'll have to bear with me. Kieran, Wesley, and
Hans.
Hans. Nice to meet you, Hans, as well. Okay, right. So I'm going to ask a few questions, and then we are going. Oh, is it supposed to make these noises? Is that good? I don't need the screen anyway. It's just us. So I'm going to ask some questions, and then we're going to see if the audience agrees with us or disagrees, and so on. I want to think about AI. I'm really hoping that everybody has heard of AI, the artificial intelligence.
Hasn't it? It's been all over the place like the last 3 years.
It's everywhere, isn't it? Absolutely everywhere. You're right. So some examples of AI might be Copilot, might be Gemini. That's another one. ChatGPT is the most common one. And let's have a little think a little bit about what it is that we're going to do. So, how do you guys think that AI can help young people prepare for their future? Any ideas? How can AI help us? Oh, come on, Wesley, start us off.
I think like AI can help set like a template for young people regarding anything. Like it could help them set a template if they're struggling with how to structure an essay. AI can break it down for them. If they don't understand a PowerPoint, they could just download the PowerPoint, and then they can have AI break it down for them in simpler steps.
Fantastic. So it can help them to apply for jobs, apply for be employable. It can break down and summarise information, particularly if there's an employer or an apprenticeship that you're interested in that sends you 6, 7, 8 pages of stuff, and you think, oh, I don't really enjoy reading. I'm not a good reader. You can ask AI to summarise it for you, can't you? Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Boys, anything else? Anything else that you're thinking?
It can also help you with researching.
Okay.
As long as you check the sources, it's
Yeah,
giving
but
you...
so can Google.
Yeah, so you could search it from Google, and then you can ask it to summarise, particularly as Graham was saying earlier on, about summarising, finding out about a company, finding out the information and researching beforehand. Okay, very, very interesting. Any other things that it might be able to help us with before I ask the room?
No.
Happy? Okay. Anyone got any other ideas? Harry, don't leave me hanging. Anybody? Oh, yes, thank you.
It can help come up with ideas if you're feeling a bit distracted.
Oh, that's a fantastic one. So if you're thinking, I want to apply for this, I like the idea of this, actually it can help you for your self-care. That's a really superb idea. And it will keep you focused and say, look, follow this channel, do this, then do this, and give you some steps to follow. Fantastic idea. Great. Oh, Harry.
I think it's kind of been mentioned, but just to elaborate, like I always like to use something like ChatGPT to like structure something. So if I want to promote the channel or a bit of content, have the idea in my head of what I want to A, do the content, but B, how to promote it. But it's often I words all like together because I've got a lot to say, whereas it just simplifies it, makes it short, it gives me 2 or 3 ideas which I like as well. So I ask like how do I structure this? It's not just one, it comes up with 3 or 4 and it's left between, so I find it really useful.
Fantastic. Wow. gosh, thank goodness we chose to come here today. Really, really great ideas. Does anyone else have any thoughts about how AI can help them with their future? Hello? Absolutely. I was talking to Bill and Ross earlier, and they were saying that they've put a lot of pressure on you guys at the moment, particularly in here, in this department, to get some projects and some deadlines finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been doing that.
Yeah,
but-
literally, we have our deadline like this Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to keep on top of that, Kieran. And that's good because that prepares you for when you go into the workplace. Because your boss is going to say to you, okay, I need this project yesterday. And you think, gosh, I haven't got enough time. How am I going to squeeze this all in? So I'm pleased they put the deadlines on. But for actually to use AI, back to your point, to use AI to give you that structure and help you prioritise, brilliant idea. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's have a think then about how can AI help us with teamwork. So if we go to an apprenticeship or we go to a different career path, we're going to have to work as a team at very few jobs, unless anyone fancies being an entrepreneur and wants to work alone. Wesley, you're thinking keen? I'll tell you about that in just a second. But if you're going to be part of a team, how can AI help you to support you for your team skills? Okay, Kieran.
Language translation.
Fantastic, because some of the companies that you might want to work for, they might want to, you might have an office in Dubai, or they might have an office in Shanghai, or there could be an office in Stockholm. I don't know, I'm making it up as I go along now.
Or even like a co-worker just being from like a foreign country.
So to help you with that translation, absolutely. But someone said about being reliable, didn't they? Reliable source. Make sure that it's a good translation, and you'll be able to know that by what it translates back into English for you. Okay, that's a really good one. Any other ways that we could use AI to help with teamwork or collaborating with others? Anyone got any ideas in the room? Panel?
If someone doesn't understand something, it may be able to reword it to make it easier for them to understand.
Okay, so they might not want to feel that they, in front of their teammates, they may want to ask AI to simplify it, give a little bit more information. Absolutely, really good idea. Where's anything?
Yeah. Let's say you're in a team, it could give you an outline of because obviously sometimes you're working with budgets. So
on management stuff.
Yeah, exactly, and also let's say it could figure out what kind of people what kind of roles are needed in, say, like a marketing team, for example. Like if you're working on a low budget, what kind of roles will be needed for a marketing team? So you're not overspending and you're not underspending.
And also you divide up roles between team, mate.
Yes.
Yeah, so thinking about who's responsible for what as well. That's a really good idea. Brilliant. So AI can help you to identify, and therefore as a team, they're not going, there's not somebody dominating, unless of course they're the leader, but they're not dominating it, but AI is helping you to understand who's responsible for what and so on and so forth. Wonderful. Thanks so much. Anything else on teamwork before I move on to my next question? No. Anyone in the room like to add anything? No? All quite happy? All right. So let's have a think now. Oh, what about being creative? So for you guys, you're studying a very creative industry. Is there anything in your industry that you guys are learning about at the moment that will help, how AI can help you be a bit more creative? Come on then, Kieran.
I feel like with creativity in AI, it's not like helping. I feel like AI should never replace like artistic creativity.
I'm so pleased you've said that. So Kieran said, for those of you that couldn't hear at the back, it should not replace human artistic creativity. Absolutely spot on. What about sometimes though, if you've been set a project, or again with an employer, you've been set a deadline, and you think, I don't know where to start with this. Can AI give you those starting points?
Yeah.
It can do. Wes, did you want to expand on that a little bit?
So basically what we do towards the end of a project is we do reflective logs. So that's where we sort of outline what went well, what we did, what didn't do so well, why things went a certain way, what we can do for next time. And you might sometimes when we do projects, I might not know what actually went well, Because what if it went absolutely garbage, or like
It
it's
could
not
be.
enough, or like it went, or like I don't know what to say for what didn't go so well. Like AI could, like in that scenario, if you could just ask the question, how do I explain how do I explain what didn't go so well if I don't know what didn't go so well? And AI,
You've got to give like a lot of context to help.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Help with the context, yeah, absolutely.
And what I mean is like to actually help like give out like what went wrong, what went right. You're gonna got to give the AI a lot of context first.
Oh, I see what you mean. You have to give the AI the input, so it's as reliable as the human putting the input in. Sorry, Wesley, you were saying.
Yeah, no worries. Like it basically could just it could kind of prompt you. It won't be like, it won't just give you the answer. It could if it's gonna give you the answer, just say like, please don't give me the answer or something like that. And then
Keep me hanging, yeah. Keep me
then
surprised,
it
yes.
could just give you prompt. It could give you like prompts. It can make you think.
Okay, so rather than you can ask
Like
AI
hints.
to help you, yeah. All right, brilliant idea. So rather than saying just summarise this, just give me the answer, just this, this, and this. Actually, it can ask you, and you can ask it and program it to give you the prompts, so that you're still using your creativity, you're still using your brain to help you. Okay, really, really good. Thank you so much. All right, and then the final question I have. So Hans, did you want to add anything?
I was pretty much agreeing with him.
Brilliant,
I think
you're
it can be
happy.
used as a last resort.
Last resort. Okay, that's a really interesting perspective. Does anyone agree? Does anybody disagree? Let's have a seat. So who agrees that AI should be used as a last resort? Some of you? Who completely disagrees and thinks, actually, AI is my go-to. It's the thing that I must do. Some of the adults in the room, yeah.
Oh.
Brilliant. Okay. Sorry, everyone's a young adult, aren't they? Of course. All right, so the final thing then is, how can AI help young people stand out? Sarah spoke earlier on about when she's looking to recruit, when she's employing, she is looking for young people that stand out. How can AI help you to stand out?
Help give ideas on what would be good for you to stand out for that particular career.
Okay, so what's important for this particular career? Superb, thank you, Kieran. Hans, any thoughts?
It can help you. It can give you like more unique words that stand out.
Oh, so rather than just doing
vocabulary stuff,
build your vocabulary a little bit. Brilliant. Can you have a bit of a practice with it as well for interviews?
Yeah.
Things like that? Yeah? Is this a good response? Can you expand this? Give me some keywords. Build your vocabulary. Brilliant. Wesley?
I think AI can actually help you with planning, because especially like if you want to get into a particular industry, like there is a sense of unpredictability. So like AI could like sort of outline your plan. Like say like there'll be scenarios where you might not end up with a job, where you might not end up in uni, where you might not even end up with an apprenticeship. But AI can sort of give you an out. You just have to explain your situation. Obviously you have to explain the context in that, and then it can sort of explain like it can sort of explain give you like sort of a roadmap, and it can help you weigh like the pros and cons of each option. Like it may not I mean at the end of the day, every option will have its pros and cons, and it will at times be unpredictable. But as long as you have a plan, and as long as you're being proactive at your lowest point, then you're gonna thrive.
Wow. Fantastic. Do you know, I do a lot of these kinds of conversations with older people, and your responses have been absolutely superb, guys. Thank you so much for your brilliance. It's been excellent.
we were like in the middle of like secretary right when like the rise like ChatGPT and stuff.
Exactly, you are the experts. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you. So thank you so much. Does anyone have any other points they'd like to make about AI? All pretty happy? Brilliant. Please can we give our panel a little round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we might have some little gifts. Is that right? Okay. Panel, if you just go and see Sarah over here, she might have a little thank you for you. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to my colleagues from Barclays Bank, and they are going to talk to you about the serious stuff now. This is the really important. This is how not to get scammed. Now, these guys will introduce themselves in a second, but they deal with some real big time money launderers and money scams, and they're going to share some hot tips now and ways that they can support you to keep your own money. All right, okay, I'll hand over to you. I think we're going to have a few technicals. Guys, feel free to talk amongst yourselves for a second. just whilst we're switching over the technical bits. So, just voice, this microphone goes on the streamers, and cameras are on, of course, just as you can.
Yeah, sure. So, do you want to stay? Do you want to use the mic? Probably won't use the mic with me, or you're quite loud anyway, aren't you? So you're going to stay this side. If I go over that side, will that be better? Because then we've got space between us.
I'm going to sit there.
Oh, all right, lovely. It's all yours.
Good, aren't they?
Yeah, our budget doesn't stretch that far, does it?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
The mic things, do we swap?
No, I'm going to just I'll just talk loud. I'll
right, okay.
just talk loud.
We're doing the same.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to shout. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Thank you. Hello, and welcome to us here today, actually. So I'm Sue, this is Chris, and this is Stu. We work for Barclays. We're here to tell you about a very, very important subject, money mules. I'm not here to frighten you, none of us are, but it's such an important subject, so I really want you to listen and take on board what we're saying and maybe change some people's lives. So, yeah, thank you. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be covering money mules. So you're probably thinking, what on earth is a money mule? So obviously we'll go into a bit more detail, but a money mule we'll be covering things like what actually is a money mule and what that actually means to you. We're going to look at how money mules are recruited and also how to avoid becoming a money mule.
Excellent. Great. Excellent. So what we're going to do is a little bit of activity here. So a bit of audience participation. We had a bit of that earlier. We've got 3 questions, and we just want to know who's actually being targeted in this way. So can we go to the first question, please? The first question is, has anyone ever asked you to move money through your bank account for them? Has anybody ever done that? That's great news, isn't it? That's a bit of positivity. Great, excellent. So the next question is, did you ever get a job offer out of nowhere on social media? You did. Excellent. Okay. Sorry?
TikTok.
Excellent. We'll talk about social media later on about that. Okay, so you got a job offer on there. Excellent. And we got the final question. Has someone you've met online ever given you money to send to others? Good, excellent. So these are just some of the signs that money mules actually use. They scam, and this is what, and we'll talk about how money mules work. So,
Okay, so what actually is a money mule? A money mule is like a money laundering. That's basically what it is. It's from illegal money, from illegal sources, from drugs trafficking, people trafficking, and these criminals use you guys to launder their money. And by laundering, the way I describe it and understand it most is like a washing machine.
I put my laundry into my washing machine and I wash it and it becomes clean. And I wash it again, it becomes cleaner and cleaner, so on and so forth. And that's what actually money mules, that's what they are. They're people who've been used, to, like you guys, to launder their money for them, get their money clean. So it's come from a legal source to start with. I'm putting it in the washing machine, and they're going through your bank account or asking you to actually take that money and move it on, and you're cleaning that money as we go through. It's basically, it is illegal money, and it's coming from illegal sources, and that's what you have to be aware of. It could be asking you to transfer money from one account to another. It could ask you to buy goods or handing money over to somebody, but it's all illegal money from illegal sources. These criminals are using your bank accounts to actually move your money across from one account to another through your own bank accounts.
Okay, so, on the wrong slide there. So what does money muling look like? Okay, mule hoarders, they're criminals just basically running the fraud, okay? They lie to get what they want. They might actually say a quick and easy way to make money, you need to receive a payment or send money to someone else, but they won't use their actual own bank account, okay? Quite often they offer you a cash incentive to actually push the money across to other different accounts. It's just very big, widely aware of actually these type of behaviours. My daughter's just gone to university in London, she's 22, and I quite clearly told her, you're making lots of new friends, do not accept any payments whatsoever flowing through your bank account. And that's just a clear no, okay? Because sometimes you think you're making good friends, then they're trying to coerce you into moving your money around. The herder will use a cover story. Say they've lost their passport, they've lost their debit card, transfer money to you, give you cash and put the cash into your account. Okay? Then often ask for your banking login details as well. Do never give out your login details on your bank account. Or give them shared codes through your app. Never ever share the codes through your app, okay, to anyone. They might even ask you to buy an item and do a bank transfer. They pay for a stolen account and give them money. So they can set up fake accounts themselves, but they won't necessarily put them in their own names. So criminals move money this way to hide where it really came from, as Sue already mentioned about from criminal acts. It could be drug money, stolen money, all this type of stuff.
Okay, so what is the actual scale of the problem? Now, Barclays actually deem this as the biggest threat, actually. We often go out and do what we call fraud and scams awareness for the little old ladies in the high street and things like that, but money mules is the biggest threat to Barclays, that's what we think. It can be targeted to anybody, any age, but these criminal gangs generally target people aged between 17 and 24. So it's you guys we're looking at, really. Especially going off to college or university, money might be a bit tight. And obviously, because there's a cash incentive earning a bit of money, that's how they do it. They actually ask you to move money through bank accounts, and you keep part of that money back. And that's what you're actually earning. That's your salary. That's your wages. And that's what the incentive generally is. You're actually earning money through that way. I mean, 17 to 24-year-olds, yes, but the youngest has actually been the age of 12. That's our youngest person, our youngest victim has been 12 years old. Now, nearly 4,000 people under the age of 21 last year were actually a target. They were actually being used as a money mule. That's how horrific these figures actually are. It's just like 14 to 18, again, is another target market as well. People that are perhaps on their Instagram, TikTok, things like that, Snapchat. It's all there, out there for you. So it's a huge, huge problem we've got. And we need to obviously try and stamp on it as soon as we possibly can. But we need to obviously make you aware of this. And I said, we're not here to frighten you at all.
Possibly my 17 to 24 lack of the target could be because of your brain is not fully developed around that age.
It could well be. So really good question. And thank you ever so much for sharing that with us. Yeah, absolutely. You might not realise what you're doing. But we've had people of any age that become a victim. It's just the fact is a lure of money. If you are desperate for money or earning some quick money, then it's a way to do that, whether it be an older person or younger person. But generally, because you're on social media, your TikTok, your Insta, that's where you'll get generally targeted. and that's the scale of the problem. But it's obviously, it's through job adverts is the majority of time. Did you have a question?
Yeah, it's just a quick question. I was gonna ask, since since obviously you asked the scale of the problem, as of course it's like obviously it's a few days till Christmas. Do you think Christmas time is around this time of year is where money muling is at its peak?
That's a really, really good question, and thank you for that. Absolutely, we find a lot of fraud and scams as a ramp up for Christmas. Yes, these basically these criminals use you guys. They ramp up there because they're thinking people need a bit of extra cash. They also do it around September time when you're obviously going to university or college, starting off again, and probably want a bit of extra money as well. So that's a real key time as well. So thank you for that question. That was really good.
Black Friday last month.
Yeah.
As well, that sort of time.
So yeah, so basically what is going to happen is if you do get these messages, it'll be through job adverts, through Insta, through Snapchat, through WhatsApp groups, whatever it might be, or even through social media, direct messaging, gaming forum as well. So if you do gaming as well, that's another way that these criminals get hold of you and target you. So I'm going to show you a quick video just to sort of bring it to light a bit more about social media.
It's good to share, but check you have the right privacy settings, or someone can make a lot of money from being you.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, just that little bit of social media activity and how much data can be actually lifted and used by criminals. Okay, is that easy for them? Okay, so Sue's already mentioned quite a bit of the social media channels. So you can always double check on social media whether your profile is public as well, just by Googling yourself. Okay, and you can see how much public information is out there. And if there is a lot of information out there, just lock down your social media accounts, okay? You know, if you need to be out there, like if you're doing something on TikTok, like selling items, selling products and things like that, legitimate products, of course, then obviously your profile's out there a bit more. So always be very, very careful. Job offers. This gentleman's done a job offer. So potentially be careful of job offers from social media channels, okay? Yeah, again, they'll start asking for your card details. They get into you, talking to you, and they convince you to give the card details to say, yeah, we can actually link you into this job. However, we need a payment of £60 to cover our admin costs. Applications never do that, okay? They never, ever do that. Job Centre is one of the best places to find a job, or some of these other legitimate job searching sites are the best place to do it, okay? Social media job adverts, don't entertain them at all, because good chance there is a criminal sitting behind that type of thing. Always when you're doing, if you do get job offers through the social media and you're still convinced that the social media is the right place to do, make sure you do a full background check on the company. Who's the person behind that company? Yeah, who's the person trying to sell you that job? Do they actually work for that company? Do they work for that recruitment agency? Okay, you can always do a background search. Company's House is a good place to do a search on who's actually employed or one of the lead or head of the companies. Go directly to the company website and ask the question. Okay, check the address, check the landline number, email address. Whether the business is actually registered in the UK, because quite often they target you in their foreign addresses and things like that. Okay, be cautious about job offers overseas. Okay, you can normally get them through your big companies anyway, so just be very, very cautious about that. Do your research. It's very important you do research. You might hear the phrases such as, I've never heard of this, but I was told about this morning. Deets and squares. These are bank details and bank cards, okay? Because they want that information. They want all your front card numbers, sort code account numbers, long card number, and the number on the back, okay? That gives them access to your money. So be very, very, very careful.
So someone asks for deets, it's your details. Squares is your card. That's what it means. I don't know if you've heard that terminology before, but I never had till I'd done this presentation 2 years ago. So that's apparently what it means. So if you hear those words, alarm bells should be ringing. So my question is it a crime to act as a money mule? What do you all think?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, it absolutely is a crime to act as a money mule. But often money mule victims don't actually know they'll be a victim. They don't actually realise what they're actually doing. They think they're helping a friend out by moving money. They may get a phone call, say, from their friend they've met through, say, WhatsApp on a group chat, who befriends them for 6 months maybe, and all of a sudden says, help, my account's been frozen. Can you move money from my account to my mum, please? You think you're doing them a favour and not actually realising what you're doing. They're just telling you a story which is unlikely to be true. This is where it's the situation you're not actually realising. So yes, it is a crime to be a money mule, to act as a money mule. Now, obviously you have to be caught, obviously, but often banks pick up accounts that are being used as money mules. We have quite a few bank accounts recently that have been closed down in Barclays. We had 4 in Colchester recently that were actually closed down. I know of 3 in Harlow as well that were closed down. And the children came in, or the young adults came in with their parents, and they were completely oblivious, they said, to what actually they were doing. So it is a crime, and your bank account will be closed down. It will be hard to get credit. So if you want to go off to university or you're getting some student loan monies coming in, you won't have a bank account to put your money in. That is the consequences of we're having a bank account closed. You won't be able to get a phone contract. Just simple things like that every day makes your life a little bit easier. And obviously the consequences are it could impact on your job prospects. You won't be able to go anything to like law, accountancy, banking. You wouldn't even get a job at Stansted Airport. Could do a criminal record check on you.
If you're oblivious to being caught as a money mule, can this be reverted in any way in the future, or is this permanent?
It could be permanent. It's 7 years. It'll be on your bank account records, on your basically your credit reference search, if someone did a search on you. But it depends on the situation, the scenario. I had a young person at the side of Bishop Stortford for a beautiful school. After his presentation, he went out to his teacher and actually confided in his teacher and explained what had been going on. He'd actually been blackmailed in the end, and it's got quite bad, quite serious. The police are now involved, and they're trying to help him and trying to sort things out. So my question is, do you think you can actually have it? Obviously, it's a criminal record, but what about prison? Could you go to prison if you're caught as a money mule or you're targeted as a money mule? What do you all think? Okay. How many years? Okay. Yeah, could do. How many years do you reckon you'll get in prison? Because you can go to prison. How many years do you reckon you could get if you're a money mule? What are severe consequences? Any idea? 14 years is the maximum term you can get as a money mule. Have we frightened you all yet?
Excellent. So what we're looking at then, just to reiterate, just come to an end on this now, is to stay in control of your account, be cautious who offer you easy money, tell someone you trust, take some time to think about what they're actually asking you, what they're looking for, and is it too good to be true? Sorry, put my teeth in there. Too good to be true? Often it is, okay? So don't fall for that. Block and report it. You can report it directly from your apps or online or on the back of your card to the frauds, or 159 will direct you to the right bank account, the right bank where you can speak to the fraud departments directly. Okay, so thank you very much for your time here today. Thank you.
You can all smile now. Please smile. It's not that bad.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Barclays team. Really lovely to welcome you today. We're going to have a quick break now, and we're going to start promptly at 11:25. So you've got just over 10 minutes. All right, guys, feel free to stay in the room and do ask any of us any questions that you may have arising already from this morning. Let me introduce you. Okay, right, lovely guys, thank you. So, welcome back to part 2. I'm going to introduce you to the one and only Chizola. And Chizola applied for the BBC show The Apprentice and was selected from 80,000, that is right, isn't it? 80,000 applicants. So, if you want to stand out and learn how to stand out, please listen to the one and only Chizola. Chizola, I shall hand over to you. Have a wonderful time. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Well, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, my name is Chizola. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today, and we are going to be talking about all things confidence today. So we're going to be focusing our workshop on confidence for real life. Now, I'm not sure at what stage of life you're in, but confidence, you need it at all stages of life. I still need it now, and I'm in my mid-30s, but it is something that you need at different stages throughout your life. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. So I want to start by saying this. If you sometimes feel a little bit awkward, or you're thinking everybody else has got it figured out, or you're wondering kind of, why it looks like everyone's got it together in 2025, then you're definitely not alone, because so many people feel like that. It's not a flaw, it's actually just part of life. And it's part of being a teenager also in 2025. So the first question I'm going to ask you is to just put your finger up. You don't have to put it up high, you can put it up low, however you feel comfortable, because today is not about you feeling uncomfortable, it's about helping to build that confidence. So number 1 means that you feel confident most days or even every day. Number 1 is that. Number 5 is I overthink everything. And then 2, 3, and 4 are somewhere in between those 5. So number 1, put your finger up if you think you feel super confident all of the time. 5 is actually I probably overthink quite a lot. And then 2, 3, and 4 are just in between both of those things. So I'll give you a couple seconds to have a think about it. Like I said, you don't have to put it right up, you can put it up here, but it'd be good just so I can have a little look and see. Give you a couple seconds. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing some fingers, yeah. Okay, yeah, somewhere in between. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few 5s, couple of 1s, but I'm seeing a lot of 5s and 4s. Okay, great. So this is really good. I think sometimes we look in a room and we think everyone around us feels super confident. But what this has already done is basically debunked that myth, which is pretty much most of you that are sat here today are not feeling really confident all the time, don't feel super confident, and it's something that we are going to try and work on today. And it's not about turning you into this loud, fearless person today. Today is literally about helping you feel more comfortable being you. And that's what's really important at school, in life, and as you go throughout your careers. So confidence. I think sometimes we look at confidence and people think it comes before you do something. So people think if you go up and stand up to do a presentation and you speak, that you're really confident before that happens. And I can give you an example of myself where I recently have started doing a lot more talks around schools, colleges, in institutions, in workplaces. And every single time before every talk that I do, I feel nervous. Every single time. So you might look at me and think, oh my gosh, she comes across super confident, she's ready to talk to everyone. But actually, every single time I talk or I'm about to do a talk, I feel quite nervous. You know, my body, the system in my body is saying, oh my gosh, you're about to talk to people. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? All these thoughts are running through my head. But it's actually very, very normal. And that's what we're going to talk about. When I did my A-levels, I actually failed twice. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I failed my A-levels twice. There's no hope for me. I'm not going to be able to amount to anything in life, basically. And I remember this being a really hard kind of concept for me to come to terms with. And I think for me as a 16-year-old young female who's seeing my peers progressing, they're going on to do whatever internships or going into the workplace or going to university, I remember thinking, I'm just being like stuck here, left behind, and I'm not at the stage that I want to be at. And I remember that really knocking my confidence. But what I realised later is confident people don't start confident. They start willing. And the way that you have to begin is by trying things out. You don't become confident overnight by not putting your hand up, or by sitting there and not getting involved in class, or by sitting there and not volunteering answers. That's not how your confidence grows. It's by doing the work, by sitting there and saying, this feels a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to try anyway. And what's the worst that can happen? And that's where you start to build that confidence muscle, which is what we're going to talk about. Even a couple of other things, when I applied for The Apprentice, I didn't feel ready. Now, this is a huge BBC show that I'm going to go on. 80,000 people had applied. It was, this is going to be broadcast on national TV. At no point did I feel ready to go and apply for the show. But sometimes it takes somebody believing in you and giving you a little bit of that extra confidence that you might need. And that was my partner for me. He was encouraging me, saying, you should apply, you should really go on, you'd be really great at this. And I took his advice, and then look what happened. I ended up coming 4th out of 80,000 people. So sometimes it does take a few little steps for you to start working and building that confidence muscle. And it's the same for you. You might not feel confident about a presentation, or you might not feel confident to stand up and say some things, but actually once you start doing it, once you have a few goes, that's when the confidence starts to build. But it is like a muscle. The same way you look at training in the gym, if any of you train in the gym, you have to keep on working at something to build, whether it's the muscle in your legs, your arms, or your back. And it's the same with confidence. The more that you do something that feels a little bit uncomfortable, the more that you're going to grow in confidence. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. You've got to go out there and go after the opportunities that you want. So for our first kind of activity, I'm going to get you to do something in pairs really quickly. So these are the things that I call the confidence pressure points. And there is a number of confidence pressure points. And these are just a few. So these aren't all of the confidence pressure points. But what I want you to know is that this exercise right now isn't about sharing your deepest, darkest secrets with the person potentially next to you, but this is about noticing what affects your confidence. And that's what we're going to be talking about right now. You're not going to be fixing each other. I just want you to listen to each other, okay? So these pressure points, we've got presentation, social media, body image, speaking in class, exams, making friends, the future, and then I've put a little box for other. All of these things are different pressure points or different things that people struggle when it comes to their confidence. So in pairs, some of these might hit harder than others. So some of them might really relate to you. But in pairs or in threes, so the person next to you, or in a group if you want to sit in your lines, absolutely fine. I want you to turn to the person next to you, and you'll get about 30 seconds to a minute to answer this question. But I want you to finish this sentence. And it says, one thing that knocks my confidence is. And then I want you to finish the sentence and explain a few things to the person next to you or in your group about one thing that knocks, or what knocks your confidence. So one thing that knocks my confidence is, and it could be one of these pressure points, and you can just explain it a little bit further to the person next to you. Now, the person next to you, your job is not to give them any answers. It's not to try and solve this for them. It is literally just to listen. You can nod, but that is literally your one job for right now before we go into diving into how we can help you support in that. Okay, does everyone understand what they've got to do? You can nod, yeah? Okay, so literally 1 minute in pairs or in your groups, however you want to do it. I'm going to give you 1 minute to say one thing that knocks my confidence is. Go. seconds left. 10 seconds left to wrap it up. Okay, fab. Now I'm not gonna pick and ask a few people to share exactly what knocks their confidence. But what I do want you to do is just kind of have a little look around the room. Just have a little look around the room. See how many people are in the room. There's so many people in this room. And I think if you thought you're the only one who felt a little bit unsure sometimes, you're definitely not. As you've just heard, everyone has spoken about the one thing that potentially knocks their confidence or can knock their confidence. And confidence struggles actually don't mean you're weak. It just means that you care. It means that you really care. So whether it's about whether it's about presentations or whether it's about social media or people's perceptions of you, it just ultimately means that you care. And so hands up if you heard something from your partner that maybe surprised you because you thought it might just be you. Hands up if you thought, actually, what they said was a little bit surprising. Okay, I can see a few hands and a few smiles. And this is the thing. I think sometimes we think it's only us that struggles with it, but everybody here does. And so now we know where our confidence drops within each other and within ourselves. Let's talk about what to do in these moments, because that's what the key part is here. Like, confidence is something that we can learn. So actually, let's talk about what to do in these moments. Let's talk about what are the practical tools and steps that we can take to help when it comes to this situation. So the first thing is, one of the biggest killers when it comes to confidence is presentations. How many of you would be comfortable and confident right now to come up here and present to everyone that's in this room? Okay, I've seen about 3 hands, and there's probably about, 3 or 4 hands, and there's probably about, let's say, 50 or 60 of you in this classroom today, which shows that it is something that people do struggle with. And the actual number one fear in the world is public speaking, which you're probably very surprised about. But it just shows again how much people are scared and fear just standing up and talking to a group of people. And that's why it's really important that we recognise how can we feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit better when we're having to do this in front of others. And so I guess the problem isn't that you're bad at speaking. It's the problem is the body feels that you are in danger. That's what's happening. Similar to when you think about fight or flight response, it's exactly what's going on when it comes to public speaking. So instead of trying to feel confident, what we're going to do is try and calm your body down and give your brain something else to focus on. So I'm going to ask you all to stand up as we go into the next stage of what we're going to be able to do to help with building our confidence. So if everyone can stand up, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to run around or anything like that, but you are having to stand up. Okay. So, step 1, when we're talking about trying to relax our body, when we feel like the body's not responding great to a situation, step 1 is we want to ground the body. Now, you might think at this moment, oh gosh, she's making us stand up, she's making us do stuff. But actually, these are a few tips that are going to help you when it comes to a situation where you do feel like you're in fight or flight, especially when it comes to presentations. So grounding your body. First thing we're going to do is both feet flat on the ground. I want you to put them about shoulder width apart. I want you to take a deep breath and relax your shoulders, because I can see some of your shoulders are a little bit scrunched or a little bit hunched. I just want you to unroll your shoulders and just relax your shoulders. I want you to lift your head up slightly, so I don't want your head like this. Lift it up slightly so it's in a neutral position. And just by doing these 3 simple things, your body already feels more balanced. So then we go to step 2, which is controlling our breath. And this is really important. When you're feeling like, oh my gosh, the body's in fight or flight mode, you need to control your breathing. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is breathe in through your nose for 4, and then we're going to breathe out through your mouth for 6. So all I want you to do is breathe in for 4 through your nose and then out through your mouth for 6. So I'm going to count. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again for your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. And what this does is it's telling your nervous system that you're safe. Because the problem that happens when we're trying to do something that we don't feel comfortable doing is our body tells us we're in danger, we're not safe. And doing these a few simple steps help us remember that we are safe. And then the final thing, step 3, is the game changer, which is starting with one strong sentence. So if you're having to do a presentation or if you're having to speak in front of a group of people, what you've got to do is start with one strong sentence. So it could be something like, today I'm going to talk about X, or today I'm going to talk about football and how much I enjoy playing football, or today I'm going to talk about Y. Because I think sometimes what happens is we stand up and we're like, and we're shuffling and we're not being able to articulate our thoughts because our brain can't compute what's going on because it's in that fight or flight mode. So it's about standing, grounding your body, taking those deep breaths and being able to have a really strong sentence like, today I'm going to talk about X, and that then will help you when it comes to that fight or flight mode. So what I want you to do, again, we're going to practice in pairs because confidence grows once you start speaking. What you're going to find is when you get that first sentence out, your brain relaxes and your flow will just improve. And it continues to grow once you already start speaking. So really quickly, I'm going to ask you to turn to the person next to you or in your groups again. And I want you to speak for about 20 seconds on maybe it's your favourite hobby or a subject that you like or a topic that you've recently studied. And again, your partner's role is just to sit and listen. But for 20 to 30 seconds, I want you to try exactly what we've just said. Start by introducing that topic with that sentence, whether it's today I'm going to talk about, or you can use something else, but just have a go and try it out and speak about your topic for 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, you've got 30 seconds now. Go. Okay, everybody take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. Fab. So, show of hands. Hands up if that felt easier than expected. Okay, yeah, that's definitely more than before when it came to speaking and sharing. And I think what's really interesting is confidence is never the end goal, but starting is, because to build your confidence, you have to be able to start. And that's what's really important. When you start to reframe your thinking around confidence, that's when you can start to see the results happening. So let's talk about social media, because when it comes to social media, we know that there are numerous things that can affect you. Who has ever felt worse about themselves after scrolling on social media? Yeah, I can see some hands. I definitely have. I've definitely felt worse about myself after scrolling on social media, because there's so many things that we see, that we're consuming, that we're taking in. And what you've got to remember is social media is showing people's highlights. They're not showing you when they're sat crying in the toilet or when they're sat not enjoying an experience. They're showing you all the best bits. They're showing you when they're on holiday, or when they're having a great time and a night out, or when they're spending time with their family or their friends or their dogs or their loved ones. That's what it's showing you, and it's there to show you that. And so what you've got to remember and what you've got to think about when it comes to social media is that it isn't always a true representation of real life. It is just those highlights that we are seeing. And so one thing that I had started to... Let's go back. One thing that I'd started to talk about and have to tell myself, because I know that I've definitely felt worse after scrolling on social media, is I've come up with the 3 C's. The 3 C's are compare, check, and choose. Compare, check, and choose. Compare is that we notice what's going on social media. So I'm having a look, I'm looking at what's going on, I'm scrolling and I'm seeing loads of different things. I'm seeing my friends at this, I'm seeing whatever's happening. Then the second C is check, which is check, is this real? Is this filtered? With the world of AI, which I'm sure you've had a session on already, sometimes you don't know what's real and what's not. I remember seeing like a video on Instagram and I shared it with my friends and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. They were like, that's not real, it's AI. And I had no idea that I'd just shared a video that was AI and it wasn't actually real life. So I think check in, is this real or is this filtered? Same with body images as well. Like sometimes you look at someone who you think, oh my gosh, they've got a great body or they've got this really great figure, and actually sometimes it might be filtered. So we're checking, is this real or filtered? And then the third C is to choose. Do I want to keep scrolling? Do I want to protect my energy? And those are the two things that you have to ask yourself, because it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole. I've definitely been down that rabbit hole of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for hours. Before I know it, I've been sat there for 2 hours scrolling on TikTok, and I could have done so much more with my time. But actually, yes, do I want to keep scrolling or do I want to protect my energy? And that's really important. And I think one thing you can do when you go away from today is have that conversation with yourself. Actually, one thing that online that affects my confidence is this, and actually one boundary that I could try. So one thing that I've tried to implement is putting in, I don't know if you've seen on like Instagram and TikTok, you can put the time limits of how much time that you can scroll. So that's something that I've implemented for me. I've put on a time limit so that I don't go over 30 minutes or 30 minutes to an hour a day. And it's about realistic advice. We all know we're not going to say, let's just stop going on social media altogether. Some people do, and I definitely did for a little while. But it's about being realistic with your boundaries. Have a think about that, because we know how much it affects our day to day. So what I want to kind of, as I'm starting to wrap up, because I know I've only got about 5 to 7 minutes on the clock, is going back to that confidence piece. Confidence for life comes from doing one small uncomfortable thing regularly. And the way that you do this is ensuring that you're practicing, because who wants to go up and do a presentation, or who wants to go up and speak when they haven't practiced, or who wants to go up and do something that feels a little bit uncomfortable when they haven't had a go at it? It's really important that you practice and you prepare. Preparation is key. Imagine if I had turned up today and not prepared, not practiced, and just come and thought, I'm just going to come and talk. I wouldn't have felt great, because I know that I get nervous when it comes to speaking. And it's the same thing that you guys have to do on a day-to-day. So whether that's a job interview that you're going for, whether that's something that you're doing in life, it's really, really, really important that you're practicing and preparing. So as I wrap up with my final few slides, I think one thing for you to take away, one thing to think about is think about the brave thing that you're going to try this week. We know that it's hard. We know that things feel uncomfortable. We know sometimes it's not always about feeling great in those moments. And you don't want to push yourself too far that you then start to feel anxious. But what's really important is that you start to think about, what's one brave thing that I can try this week? Because confidence comes from doing that one thing that's uncomfortable regularly. And the last thing, going back to building that muscle, the more you use it, the more it grows and the stronger it gets. And so when I was younger, when I was probably closer to your age, I didn't feel the most confident that I've ever felt. Sometimes I was worrying about exams. Sometimes I was worrying about how I looked. Sometimes I was worrying about my future. And you're carrying all of that whilst you're growing, you're making friends, you're learning, you're figuring out who you are. And there's so much around confidence that I could talk about today, but I wanted to share a few key things with you, which is confidence isn't knowing all of the answers. It's really not. It's trusting yourself to figure things out. And that's what's really important. And that comes from practice and not perfection. And the one thing that I go around telling myself is I don't need to be perfect to be confident. And you can tell yourself that too. I'm not going to ask you to repeat it after me, but you can definitely tell yourself, because telling yourself and talking to yourself really positively affects, again, how our brain works. So as I wrap up, that sentence, I don't need to be perfect to be confident works in so many different ways. It works in presentations, it works when you feel awkward, it works when life doesn't really go to plan. Confidence isn't loud, it is just steady, and that's what's really important. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're not failing, you're learning, and that's really what true confidence is. So if you remember nothing else from today's session, remember this: confidence grows when you try one brave thing, even whilst you're feeling unsure. And that's how you prepare for life. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to back yourself as you grow. Thank you.
We just have a couple of minutes, and I wondered if anybody has any questions. This is your chance to ask a real life star of the BBC some more insightful questions. So we've got one straight away at the front.
Obviously, The Apprentice is like one of the BBC's biggest shows, and like it's obviously like pre-record. I presume it's like pre-recorded in that before it goes out in that first quarter of the year. Like obviously you don't obviously there's probably some stuff that was there some stuff that they filmed before that it wasn't shown on screen, and if so, were you kind of anxious in the run up to its launch of how you'd be portrayed on screen?
Great question. So yeah, we film it almost a year in advance. So we filmed in the April, and then it went live in January. Yes, that's correct. And yeah, you do think we film so much. There's over 60 hours worth of content that we film, and it all gets compressed into 1 hour. So there's so much that you just don't see. And I was a bit nervous initially for the lead up of when the show was going to air, but then I remembered that actually I was very much true to myself. I remembered that I behaved in the way that I wanted to behave, and so I wasn't too nervous. And because of that, I had like quite a good edit, because I stayed true to myself, which I think was really important. When you try and act up, or you try and act up for the cameras, or try to be somebody who you're not, that's when I think, yeah, you could be worried. But I think for me, because I stayed true to myself, I felt quite confident going into that. Thank you. It's a good question. Very good question.
Start your own business, what advice would you give?
So with someone who does run my own business, I've got a virtual assistant company. I guess the one piece of advice I would say is it's so easy to sit on an idea and not execute because you want it to be perfect. I struggled with, and I still do struggle with, perfectionism. I want everything to be perfect at all times. And sometimes you just need to launch and have a go. And what you can do is change stuff as you go. You can iterate, you can make it better. But what's really important is actually being able to launch and start, because that's when you start to build your confidence. That's when you start to learn the lessons, and that's when you can grow. But staying there with trying to perfect something that's not even out there to the world can be really hard. So I would say the biggest thing I would say is get your idea together, means test it, do whatever you need to do. It might not be perfect, but give it a go and start.
Yes, what did you learn from your time on The Apprentice? What did you take out of it that you thought, oh, yeah, I'm really glad I knew that or can take that forward?
I think again, it's working on my public speaking skills. Like we get put under pressure all the time, and one of the things that we always have to do is either pitch in front of people, sell to people. So whether it's pitching in front of a group of people or selling to one or two people, the one thing that you're constantly doing is having to speak. And so learning how to be able to control your body when it's under pressure is so important. And I saw that throughout the show, because I was having to pitch, present, speak, do things that are all out of my comfort zone. I don't love doing, but it's what allows you to grow. So I would definitely say that.
Hands up if you've actually watched The Apprentice, BBC. Yeah. And I will give a shout out as well. I think they're doing a celebrity Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, the idea is there is this businessman who's from Essex called Lord Alan Sugar. And Lord Alan Sugar used to be the owner of Tottenham Football Club. And he is a really successful Essex-based businessman. And The Apprentice is is all about a group of people that want to try and become his apprentice. Because if you do become his apprentice, he invests, I'd like to say £250,000 in your business. So it can be worth a lot of money for you. Do you have to be 18 to enter?
Yes, you do.
So when you turn 18, you can enter. You've got some inside information here to enter the apprentice. And who knows, you could become Lord Sugar's next apprentice, and he'll invest £250,000 in you and your business. So it's a fantastic opportunity. But check out, if you haven't seen it, you can see Chisola's series, which was this year, on the iPlayer, and you can also watch the upcoming series. It goes out pretty soon, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Boxing Day-ish, yeah.
Okay, so Chisola has really kindly written us some tips for confidence building, and we will have these at the back of the room when you all leave, so make sure you grab one of these. But all that's left now is for us to give Chisola a massive round of applause. And now I'm going to kind of finish up now. This is the last section of this morning, and then you are all going to be able to break and go to lunch. So my name is Sarah, as I said. I have a marketing and PR company called Sarah B Marketing, but I also work with BBC Essex. So I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into BBC Essex, so what careers might be available at the BBC for you. But before we go into that, I just wanted to give you some resources that you can actually use. These are some free resources and help that's available. Basically, being based in Braintree, you are extremely lucky in the help that's available for you. So whatever you want to be, whether you want to be in digital careers, in media careers, film, television, radio, these are some really good resources. Even if you want to start your own business, put your hand up. Does anyone want to start their own business? Anyone got any? Yes, Harry, yes, at the back. So entrepreneurship is something that we're so good at in Essex. We're the most entrepreneurial county in the whole country. So here are some places that you can go for help. So NEEB is the North Essex Economic Board. We're in North Essex, and there is an economic board, which is a group of people that have all put money together to provide you with some resources to help you if you particularly want to start a business, but also if you're interested in receiving any additional support beyond what you get at the college. So that's NEEB. And NEEB has its own app. And on the NEEB app, and I'm going to show you how to access that, you can actually find job opportunities and apprenticeships that you can apply for in real life. Now there is another place you can go to, these are all websites, called the Essex Growth Agency. And the Essex Growth Agency gives you careers advice. I know you do get advice here, but this gives you additional careers advice and pathways, and it gives you the opportunity for more training and even some mentoring. It's really good as young adults to be working with mentors, because mentors have lots of connections that they can introduce you to and help you. So that's the Essex Growth Agency. And then finally, there is a scheme called Earniversity. So Earniversity is a 5-week online coaching program in entrepreneurship. These are all free, by the way. All these resources are free. You can join Earniversity and you can do a 5-week coaching program in entrepreneurship, and you will earn money immediately. And you can do that alongside your studies. It's not either or. And University also has a special educational needs pathway. So if you were interested in that, that's a 10-week pathway online. And at the end of those 10 weeks, you will be able to have launched your business and be earning money straight away. So these are the logos to look out for. This is the NEEB logo, this is the Essex Growth Agency, and this is University. And these are the websites where you can find all the information. I'm sure that the copies of these slides will be available for you, but if you do want to take photos, absolutely get your phones out, take a picture of those websites. They're all the ones that you need. For the NEEB app, if you are the App Store or if you're Google Play, you just need to search for the word NEEB. So there we are, NEEB. If you search NEEB in your App Store or Google Play Store, you can download the the NEEB app, and you'll be able to access job opportunities and apprenticeships. You'll be able to read some case studies of businesses and connect with local employers. Okay, that's really important. Also, finding co-working spaces. When you leave whatever course you're doing here, when you finish, you might have time where you want to go and use some office space. And that's called co-working, where you just pay per day and you can go and sit in a communal office with other workers. And that's a really nice thing to be able to do because it helps you grow your own network. Okay, so any questions about those support resources before we move on to the BBC? Okay. Please make use of all the support that's out there because it's all free and it will really, really help you. Okay. So we're going to move on now to a career in media. Is anyone considering a career in media? Hands up. Fair few of you. Excellent. Anyone considering a career with the BBC? Excellent. Okay. Good, good. So first of all, what do we mean by the media? When we say the media, just shout out, what do we mean by the media? TV. What else?
Social media.
Social media. What else? Sorry? News. Yep. Anything else?
Format.
Yes. Music?
Yes.
Audio visual? TV and film, radio and podcasts, audio books, that's all media. Social media. Creative is the media. Photography and design, creative design, that's media as well. Gaming. Anyone want to go into gaming? Okay, excellent. Music and AV, as we've said. And advertising and marketing. Anyone want to follow me into marketing? Surely. You can earn so much money in marketing, trust me. You might want to reconsider. Anyway, that's the media. But today, we're going to be focusing on TV and film, radio and podcasts, and social media. Okay? So before we do that, does anyone recognise any of these logos? Who used BBC Bitesize to revise? Yeah. I won't ask you who used to watch CBeebies. BBC iPlayer. You use BBC iPlayer? Yeah? Fabulous. And CBBC. And these are just a few of the parts of the great establishment that's called the BBC. Who knows what BBC stands for?
British Broadcasting Corporation.
Fabulous. Top of the class. It stands for the British Broadcasting Corporation. It is the world's most trusted news source. It's the top of the tree in the world. Forget any other broadcast media for news. The BBC is the best you can get. It supplies content in over 40 different languages. One of the BBC brands is called the BBC World Service. And wherever you are in the world, even if you're virtually up a mountain or in the middle of a desert, you can listen to the BBC World Service. Okay, according to the BBC, 86% of adults and 70% of children use BBC services. Okay? And every week, 450 million people are tuned in to the BBC. So when I go onto the BBC, which I do very regularly, I'm on BBC Essex, I'm there on Saturday morning, I'm potentially talking to 450 million people, although that doesn't really happen with BBC Essex, but that's the size of the audience. So it's a fantastic organisation. So we've said anyone considering a career in media. But what I want to do now is to launch a real life brand new job that's just been published by BBC Essex in Chelmsford, and this is a level 3 production apprenticeship. This is live right now. You can apply for this job if you are going to be 18 or over in September next year. And the deadline to apply is the 11th of January. And what you'll be doing is you'll be working at BBC Essex's headquarters, which is in Chelmsford, and you will be a real life production apprentice, earning a salary and everything, all the other benefits that go with working for the BBC. And who knows, start off as an apprentice at the BBC, and who knows where you could end up. As I said, BBC, global organisation. You could potentially end up being a foreign correspondent anywhere in the world working for the BBC. So I'm biased. I've worked with the BBC for just over 10 years, and I know what a fabulous organisation it is. It's really the creme de la creme if you can get the BBC on your CV. So what we're going to do now is we're going to explore that a little bit more, and we're going to hear from some real life apprentices if the technology works, and then we've got a little volunteering exercise at the end before we close. So bear with me, this should work.
Hi, my name's Noah and I'm a production apprentice from BBC Essex, and today I'm going to give you a tour of in under 60 seconds. So welcome to BBC Essex. That was my bad attempt at the jingle. So I'm currently taking you down to the studios where the magic happens. This is the inside of Studio 1, and I'm going to take you to the middle studio where the producing happens. And in Studio 2 is where the show happens. Okay, and now Akila is live on the radio. Yeah, you're right. I was going to ask, what is your favourite song coming up on today's show? Oh my God. Have you checked that? So many good ones. ABBA, for sure. Ended up getting kicked out because Akila has an actual on-air show to do. Following up these stairs leads you to the newsroom. This is where the news is done and where we think of our shows. This is the news booth where our news bulletins are read. And this is the office. And that was the tour of BBC Essex in under 60 seconds.
My favourite thing about working at BBC Studios is the opportunity to meet so many different people from so many different jobs.
My favourite thing about working at the BBC is definitely the people that I've just met. So many lovely individuals, and that is definitely the best part from so far.
My favourite BBC TV show has to be an old one but a good one. It's Some Girls, if you know, you know.
My favourite BBC show is 100% Inside the Night. In 5 years' time, I definitely see myself still working at BBC, hopefully, especially within the international markets.
But where I want to be in 5 years is, fingers crossed, still working at the BBC. Let's see where this opportunity takes me.
Okay, we got any volunteers to come and read the news? Yes, please. This is not the real news, by the way. So I want a nice loud voice. Okay.
This is BBC Essex with some surprising breaking news that's causing more uproar than burnt pigs and blankets or mouldy turkey. The Department of Unnecessary Disruption has announced that all Christmas school holidays across Essex have been cancelled. Yes, cancelled, removed, deleted, like your willpower around the box of Colley Street. According to officials, teachers reported that dangerous festive excitement levels with 1 year 10 class described as a tinsel powered tornado. In fact, Carpet Sanity pupils will now remain school until further notice. Parents are already reacting. One mum from Rachel claiming said, "I'm fine," before sprinting to Lidl for celebrating a prosecco and mince pies. Children, meanwhile, having launched protests with signs saying, "Save our school holidays, we need a break from school." The only exception goes to anyone who can prove that they're on the nicest, which includes roughly around 97% of Year 11 boys. We'll bring more updates as this festive fiasco unfolds. For now, stay calm, stay merry, and hide the glitter.
Thank you. Give them a round of applause. Well done. Anyone else want to come and have a go? I've got a different script. Anybody else? Yes? No? No? Okay, no problems. But that's an opportunity to work with the BBC, and I really, really do encourage you to have a think about whether that might be a career path that you want to go down. And working with the BBC doesn't always involve presenting. You could be working with the BBC, for example, managing their social media. You can see they're very active on TikTok, Instagram, and so on. You could be working in the office in terms of researching. So researching what they're going to read in the news. Or you could be out and about talking to people or filming people, working behind the scenes as a production assistant, like the example that we've got. So with that in mind, does anybody think that they might be interested in a career now with the BBC? Excellent, excellent. And if you do want to get in touch with me, Sarah B Marketing is my company. Speak to me, drop me a line, and I'll happily introduce you to the team at BBC Essex in Chelmsford. They're very friendly, and I'm actually going to be on the radio this Saturday, 11 o'clock. So I'll give a shout out to Colchester Academy. Okay, so moving on now. Goodness me. Can we have a bit of assistance, please? All I'm going to do now is kind of wrap up today. We've heard some We've heard a really good selection of presentations, different types of speakers. It's really important, though, that we get your feedback on how today went. And by way of doing that, if you want to scan the QR code that's up here, it's actually the same QR code that's on your leaflet. So if you don't want to do it right now, you can take the leaflet away and you've got the same QR code. And everybody that does the feedback will enter a prize draw to win an Amazon gift card. And we'll just pick one of you at random and we will let the college know who the winner was, and we'll send that. We'll make sure that you have that when you come back after Christmas. So any questions or comments about today? Have you found it useful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Yeah. Good. All I would say is keep your options open. Keep making connections with people. Is anybody here on LinkedIn? Yes. Yeah. Check out LinkedIn if you're not already on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social media platform for people in business, in the workplace. So if you get yourself a LinkedIn account, you can start connecting with people in maybe the industry that you want to go and work in, and start building your own personal network. But if we don't have any more questions about today, then I will close today's session. I'm going to be standing at the back of the room. We'll make sure that these tips from Chisola are available. And please take your cards back if you want to feedback, or if you've done it now, that's fabulous. But thanks everyone, you've been really, really brilliant, and good luck with your careers. Thank you.